theoretically you can't, but in America it's not that at all. It's quite frightening. Chicago was interesting because we find out that whilst Americans have the First Amendment right to speak, you don't have a coordinated right to be heard. So, do you have free speech if somebody can be here with a frying pan in your face, banging it? I don't think so. And then we've got, we've had to have sort of security with guns. There's no point in having security here without.
Howdy.
But yeah, we don't have. Cara said no, or that we had the police. So yeah. Well, I wonder with. Oh, so there's somebody with a trans plan there. So.
Oh, neat.
But yeah, the criticism from the UK has been relentless from some left-wing feminist, socialist feminist quarters, which I feel has put some of us in danger because they've all been associated with the far right. Somebody who apparently was an ex-Pride Boy was attended, but that's because Antifa show up. And the Pride Boys show up if Antifa show up. They're not in my... not asking them to come. So that makes it dangerous because if I'm seen to be actively working with those people, it might just mean that more Antifa turn up, and more Pride Boys turn up, and then they're women. And we haven't asked for any of this violence. When it comes to the men now show up. Those security firms are probably going to have be able to put a particular political persuasion. So I've always said, oh, what would anyone do? If somebody's going to come and actually stand in the way of me getting hurt, then I'm definitely okay. I don't care about the politics. I just don't. I just think it's futile. Like, if my house was on fire, I wouldn't say, oh, just a minute before you go rescue my children. Can you just, how did you vote? What do you think about Brexit? Do you like scrambled approach? Sunny side up? Like, come on. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think the left and the right, I have spoken to quite a few people on the right, they never do this security test at all. So yeah. But it's, I'm staying in someone's very large house at the moment, just lovely. Definitely don't think the same as me about abortion. 100%. So we're not really having the conversation because I doubt in a couple of days I can convince her that a woman has a right to choose, and she's definitely not going to convince me that a woman has no right to choose. So it's really pleasant, especially when you know you can have conversations about things with these conservative women, and it doesn't end up with name calling or even anger. It comes up with like, we both remain unconvinced. That's it.
Hello, Skipper. Can you say who that is you're talking to, or is that?
I can't say who it is I'm talking about because she'll lose her job. So, that's where we are. Am I going to be on YouTube? I mean, this time I've not brought guns, I've just
State Speed Week?
It has been what I call the Lake Erie circuit, because it's been Michigan, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, just circling around.
Where's next?
I haven't decided, because there's a couple like election night watch events happening, so I don't know which one I go to. There's also one protest I heard about, so kind of need to do a little bit more research to see.
I have a couple friends who are going to Georgia, but I feel like I don't want to like chance it by just like going on the gamble that maybe something happens somewhere in a state that's gigantic, so it's not even possible to like you'd have to be in the right city.
Exactly, yeah. You're a few hours away.
It doesn't actually work. Yeah, so personally, I'm planning on just being like basically home tomorrow and then ready to like respond if something actually happens.
Understandable, yeah. I think I may end up going to Michigan. Still figuring it out. There's a few places.
Wherever you want to be, you can be that side listening, or you can be this side.
We have to direct our talks that way.
The folks behind us were saying that they're planning on doing a noise protest, so my guess is that when they start this, they're going to just start banging pots and pans.
Okay.
I know these folks, and they're not going to. So I would say almost no chance that they like actually hit them. Like this is not going to turn violent, but they will annoy them.
You live for this one already?
Yep. Just in case.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So amazing. Okay, good afternoon. We are going to stand here in Washington, D.C. So thank you to Kara, is that right? Kara, as we say. Kara Dansky for on the ground organising. We are here to let women speak, which is basically to break the silence created by trans activism. And I've met some very interesting, right across the political spectrum, predominantly women who are taking great risks, going to their school boards, talking in public about this particular issue. So I'm going to say some of the things that in the United States of America could lose you your job. Right, 1, women don't have penises. 2, transitioning children is abuse. 3, trans activists now. So you've got confused children like this. Actually, should we go around in a circle before they get too close?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want them near us. Okay, so that's quite good. They're exercising their free speech, which is fine by us. We're just going to have to make sure that we speak nice and clearly in our microphones, because that's not working.
Protect trans kids!
Protect abuse!
Protect trans kids! Protect trans kids! Protect trans kids! Protect trans kids! Protect trans women! 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 Protect trans men! 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 Acceptance saves lives!
Dog, you gotta go somewhere. I got my shot here. You gotta skate somewhere. Nah, like out of the drinks.
Acceptance saves lives!
Acceptance saves lives!
Acceptance saves lives!
Acceptance saves lives!
y'all call. This is like, they're going to try to challenge y'all. Y'all didn't even say nothing to them. Y'all didn't want to challenge y'all.
No nation, trans liberation. No borders, 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 no nation, trans liberation.
Let them get killed. They're going to get killed that way.
Leave us alone.
What can account for this contradiction, this simultaneous prosperity and erasure? How can a woman be nominated to the Supreme Court and yet have to provide as the price of admission? It's your own testimony that should not define what a woman is. We all know what a woman is. Reading a shirt, a woman is a female. This contradiction comes from the complete capture of modern feminism by the media. The feminism of my childhood, which is epitomized by a canvas bag that cheerily announced anything a boy can do, a girl can do better, was a recognition of the victory of second-wave feminists. Women who had been raised being told the opposite, told they weren't smart enough, or hard enough, or shouldn't take the places of men, could now tell their daughters that the sky was the limit. This mantra of resistance from our foremothers was never meant to be taken literally. They knew that women and men were not and never would be equivalent, and they did not expect or desire to cease to be women and mothers when they became governors.
When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Rise up, fight back! When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Rise up, fight back! When trans kids are under attack, what do we do? Rise up, fight back! When trans kids are under attack, what do we do? Rise up, fight back! When trans kids are under attack, what do we do?
Now they are revealed to be mere marketing slogans. Take my body, my choice. It's pro-choice axiom, right? I am pro-choice. It's most now a transhuman nightmare. Not enjoying puberty, not consent. Just buy something different.
What do we do? Rise up,
no matter what. Indeed, even when it's feminist self-harm, marketed as personal liberation.
Acceptance saves lives!
The only way for women to experience liberation is to build the natural, unalienable asymmetry between men and women and perpetuated. A culture in which women are not the state, not our doctors, not our children's teachers, not our bosses, not big pharma, not big tech, and certainly not Planned Penishood, directly control what is ours, our own bodies and the upbringing of the children, directly depend on our bodies, the wisdom, and our care. Our own parents who must hold the tools.
aligning with the Proud Boys and other far-right you good with that? The Proud Boys don't care about your femininity. They don't care about women. They do not care. They are riding your motherfucking coattails while you work with violent extremists.
What about the ones that are born alive? You run to the Proud Boys.
Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
Who's in charge of
Prove it.
Trans liberation!
arrested. There you go. Thank you.
You're disrupting a permit.
It's like mental health and so messed up. You know, like we have a big problem.
Cool. I'll meet you here.
We have a
We'll have a drink.
There is just too much.
All right.
Having mental health. This is one of my favorites.
I take tips.
Sounds like she might have went had singing lessons at her very expensive white privilege college.
Okay, time to go over to the grassy area over here.
All right.
Just another.
We're gonna head this way now.
You have to move now. You're about to be arrested. I'm gonna give this back to you over there, okay? Man, a couple steps closer. You're gonna go all the way over here. Sorry.
Our group is headed this way.
We're gonna start making this. 102.
I really don't think you know what side is going. I'm gonna stand right there. You're asking me to, and I'm saying no.
Careful.
Stand a little close.
You need to know from AOS. Or 715 from AOS.
Do I need a permit to stand here?
10-4-13-49.
They can have a demonstration.
I don't know if he was just being like,
Just like I'm doing with you right
the
now.
cops actually sent
I can
you.
stand here all I want. I don't need a permit.
Black women speak. Black women speak.
I'm not your friend.
Megaphone off, she's going to jail.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if
Which
they're
has,
just
like,
trying to
video
scare him,
on.
but like, I feel like they might start.
Unfortunately, it just continues to happen we've seen for the last few years.
We are not going to be silent. They can come time and time again. They can scream in our faces. They can put sirens in our ears. But we will be heard. Right. Yeah. Come on again.
When you actually can't get this permit, you have to every part of their no, that's actually contrary to the I'm just asking. I'm not here to. All right, now here. Put this stuff over here. And then, after our conversation,
Now they're saying. My eyes, my ears, my feelings, and my reactions. Essentially, they made me question the truth. They tried for about an hour to convince me that this man was a woman and asked me to delete the review I had left, warning other women that this gym allowed men in the wrong. All of this was done so that the man could have me and other women around to play along with his perversion and to groom us into feeling comfortable undressing in front of him, something I'd never consent to. I canceled my membership and went to another gym, where I was assured by the management that they didn't allow the aforementioned scenario in the women's locker room. I was also told that if anyone made me feel uncomfortable, I was to report it to management and they'd take care of it. Well, it wasn't long before I found myself in the locker room with a rather large man who quietly sat in the corner behind me, smiling and complimenting me as I was bent over his seat. I felt angry at the audacity of a man quietly sitting in a corner doing absolutely nothing as women walked around nearly nude, not realizing who was there. I wasn't frozen to fear this time. Instead, I stormed out in rage. I reported it to management and expected them to take care of it like they told me. When they finally discovered which man it was, they changed their tune. I was told that the man was a subset of a woman and was offered to take a time out with my gym membership or cancel. I promptly canceled my membership. Every attempt I've made since then to leave reviews warning women about this have been deleted or hidden from view, effectively robbing women of informed consent, which would put them in harm's way. The gym knows that once women are made aware that men can sit in the locker room and get a free, undisturbed peep show with them in underage girls, women are not going to put up with it. When we women see the locker room that corresponds to our sex and only our sex, it signals to us that there will be no men here and that we are free to undress, use the toilet, tend to our menstrual needs, among other things. It's beyond condemnable and atrocious to then tell men that they can go into these spaces without the knowledge or consent of women and girls. But let's be honest, why would they tell women that men are allowed to watch them undress in the locker room and risk losing their remembrance?
Fuck you, TERFs!
There she is. Come on out, the real.
Your kids are disappointed that you're here!
That sounds like a you problem, ma'am.
Who's hiding their face? Who's hiding their face?
Well, okay, you're not a required to know the law, so like it's impressive to you.
It makes sense.
All according to
I wonder what the threshold is for when they would be ready for arrest. 'Cause I heard
They were
discussing
talking
it.
about it. I think that they probably would have if they just completely stood their ground, but I think they were hoping not to because it's a lot more of a hassle. It's literally just it's easier. And those charges wouldn't stick anyway.
You don't think so? No. Yeah, I'm not sure what the actual citation would be for public national park.
There is like disrupting and like a permanent event is like part of like there's a couple of different ways they can do it, but that almost never sticks. Like they'd be arrested, they'd probably be released same day or maybe tomorrow morning, and they'd be almost definitely no paper. Like the actual DC prosecutor would never take it to
They're still threatening to arrest based on getting caught.
Yes, they said the arrest wagon is here. If we don't move, they're going to arrest us. Even though we're just standing here.
I'm going to start asking them though. Do you know which statute?
Yeah.
You know which statute says
He's not being very clear about his what their
He's
intentions
trying
are.
when he said he's trying to send you all the way over there.
Yeah, they want us to go to the grass, whether we're quiet or not. It looks like we're
I never said I was part of that group. Of course. Where's your sergeant? Where's my sergeant? I don't have a sergeant here, but there is a sergeant.
built tree houses, played in the dirt, rode horses, danced and sang. As a girl, I was constantly in trouble for talking too much. When I was pregnant with my first child, I learned that in this country in the early 2000s, we had one of the highest maternal morbidity and mortality rates of any other developed nation. The highest rates of medical intervention. One intervention leads to another, until birth becomes a system of medical experiments putting mother and baby at greater risk. This can be traced back over 600 years before we came across the Great Pond, when men pushed the midwives out and declared them witches, tortured them, executed them, and burned them all so that they could practice their medicine. They are still practicing their medicine. They're using women and children's bodies and minds in their experimental practices. The ideological capture of our medical, mental, and educational institutions has led us to a new wave of experiments. Experiments where our education system purposely drives a wedge between children and their parents. They tell them that we can't be trusted. They are just empowering them to be their authentic selves. They teach them to separate from us, whispering in their ears, convincing them that their parents, their mothers, are the enemy.
children, the intelligent, bright, artistic kids that aren't fitting in, the weird kids who are disassociating from their bodies and disassociating from their sex bodies, from not being accepted by their peers. They praise the disassociation and love bomb them. By the time parents become aware, our children's names and pronouns have already been changed behind our backs. They've convinced our children to fight for their supposed emancipation. They've taught them the script, handed them the instructions under the guise of empowerment. Our children have already seemingly willingly signed up to be practiced and experimented on. They have taught the children to accept grown adults of the opposite sex into their same-sex spaces. The parents who stand up against this system face legions of enemies. Your child's teachers, school counselors, administrators, other parents, mental health care providers, and the entirety of the internet, and even their pediatrician, shouting at you that if you do not affirm and assist your child's disassociation, your child will kill themselves, and it will be your fault. The narrative then captures the parents believing affirming the disassociation is the best, most loving thing to do to save their child's lives. There are those of us who see through this. Parents saying no. Parents saying no to interventions that lead to interventions that lead to interventions. Mothers saying no. Be your smart, talented, bright, weird self. Cut your hair, change your clothes, climb trees, ride bikes, dance, sing. But do not let them convince you that there is anything wrong with you, that there is anything wrong with your body. The institutions know that they stand to profit billions of dollars off of these children. Parents, mothers, and women are again declared witches. This time we are called TERFs. They are not yet burning us, but they are silencing us. They are harassing, threatening our livelihood. They beat, crush our bones, take our children, and torture us. I am a woman. I am an adult human female, and I am still in trouble for talking too much. I am a mother, and I am saying no. No child is born in the wrong body. No men in any women's or girls' private sex-separated spaces. No. No is a complete sentence. You can abuse, beat, and torture me, attempt to force me into silence, but I will never stay silent. I will fight for women's liberation and children's safeguarding till my dying breath. Please repeat after me. Parents, say no. Parents, say no. Fathers, say no. Fathers, say no. Mothers, say no. Mothers, say no. Women, say no. Women, say no. Thank you, Kelly, for having us today. If we all stand together, we will win. Thank you.
Okay, just real quick, since I already spoke, I just want to convey a few messages about what the tone has been like out here and amend something I said earlier. There have been a ton of tourists here at the Lincoln Memorial today on this beautiful, beautiful day. And they saw what happened. They saw these people scream and chant and try to shout us down. I said earlier that the park police were here and were doing nothing. Then they did. I want to just make a point for women having future events like this. In the application process for the permit, there was a question, which was, do you anticipate any disruption of your event? I answered that question, yes. And I had an interview with the permit people, and they asked me to explain it, and I did my best to do that. But the problem is, at that time, the park police didn't take this threat seriously because they didn't understand. They didn't know. Law enforcement generally does not understand what threats women are under all over the world, especially in the United States, but they're starting to. And so for women who are having future events of this nature, please do your best to make sure your local law enforcement or federal, as applies here, this is the U.S. Park Police, make sure they understand the level of threat. Show them video of previous events. And I do just also really want to commend the U.S. Park Police for really standing up and protecting women and girls here today. So thanks everyone.
Something's happened over there.
go. Back up.
What the fuck is your problem? You started that.
Actually,
You told us to go.
we did exactly what you told us.
You assaulted us.
We did exactly what you told us to do.
Hey, come on.
Fucking cowards, every last one of you. Y'all motherfuckers don't know shit about shit. Cowards. Fucking cowards. Why don't you go? You know what? Y'all might as well just bust out the mace now.
Did exactly what you
Y'all gonna
said.
run across that bridge and ice someone because you had a bad fucking day?
You told us to go.
And you started pushing us.
Hey, you motherfucker, take your goddamn ass to yourself.
Don't be pushing press here.
Hey, you did some shit.
Your man, yo, look, your man is like really fucking around with people, antagonizing, putting their hands on people and shit for no fucking. You know what I'm talking about already.
Fucking cowards.
Yeah, we know what you. Yeah, we know what you're on, dude.
Hey, buddy, are you part of the group?
What's the name of that number?
Back up. Hey, look, we're back, you know. Back up. You've already got. Look, what's that gonna do? Is that gonna stop y'all from doing anything? As evidence, what just happened,
Back up
motherfucker?
on the sidewalk. Oh, they get on the sidewalk. Perfect way to do it.
What's you being arrested for?
What's he being arrested for? Tell us.
What
did he do wrong?
All you guys can just stay up on the sidewalk. We'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
What are you being arrested for? You guys
On the sidewalk.
What did he do wrong? What are you charging him with?
Please stop pushing people. What the fuck?
We've asked you to get up on the sidewalk 10 times.
Yeah, and I've been asking what you're gonna do.
And you have a terrible mouth.
Hey, look, go fuck yourself, Eddington.
Back up.
Stop fucking blocking me.
And you have a terrible mouth.
Fuck you! You fucking asshole!
You love abusing your power, don't you? Well, here's the thing. If you insult me, what can I do? If I insult you, you can arrest me for it, right? Like, here you go.
Because I haven't insulted any of you, but I've been insulted about 15, 20 times.
Yeah, because you're a bitch-ass pig!
See, there you go.
Oh, so we're gonna play that game, right? How about approved holds? What approved holds for you guys? You guys want to jump
So,
Do I have any proof? You're the one who's saying.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Officer,
No approved chokehold. So NCS, yes Park Police, yes BP, there's no approved chokehold. Why is your man over there grabbing people by the throat? Tall guy right there, stand at the front, pushing everybody up right now. No, that's what I was asking you, because you're an uninterested.
What are the charges? You just started attacking us.
Where are you taking them?
Where are they going?
They won't tell us. They don't have anything.
No, of course not. They're just gonna go beat it.
Charge him.
They're trying to make something
Scare
up.
him off.
You got it?
Too bad. You'll be back.
They'll probably end up at detention.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's why they're here. You can protest and do whatever you want, but when you become physical and you start to do too much, then that's why they're here. To step in.
Oh no, they literally just came and picked someone up who was sitting on the ground.
In the space they told us to fucking go to.
And then they grab someone's neck.
Y'all should
They grabbed their neck.
They grab someone's neck for no reason.
My motherfucking neck.
right. So why they hurt?
What are the charges?
Do you know? Please don't pick
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Please.
Officer Hat.
That doesn't narrow it down. Who? Which one? McDermott. Hey McDermott, what's the charges?
What are the charges? You started attacking us.
Call 912, traffic, Ford Fischer Drive, and the Ridge Pending here.
You assume any of them know what they're doing?
I mean, this dude's standing right there with his back to us, knew what he was doing when he grabbed three people by the throat.
Yeah, I know. Why the fuck do you have to be violent? We can talk.
Car 512,
They don't have one. They're just being assholes.
They're just
Like
picking
they're
people up
paid
for
to
fun.
do.
But did you do this for fun now?
Y'all have to.
It really fucking worked out for you, didn't it?
Hey,
How fucking be a woman or whatever?
Somebody.
Yeah, they got out.
Do you have any idea what actually happened?
There was a megaphone on.
They literally, so what happened is they tried to turn off the megaphone and the cops grabbed it out of them, assaulted them, they went off, and then they sat down on the ground and the cops grabbed them. The person that just got arrested. Yeah, he was trying to turn off the megaphone.
Their own megaphone or?
No, the megaphone was just laying on the ground with a siren on it.
Yeah. We went where they said to protest, counter protest, and we turned on one of our megaphones. As you can see, we've got like 10 of them.
Yeah.
And then they came over and grabbed someone by the throat, and as he turned it off, they arrested him. And they will not tell us.
Oh, it was because was it because they were like they were saying you shouldn't have been using it? Like it was
They
like,
didn't tell us. They just arrested him and won't tell him why they're arresting him. There's a reason we're all angry.
And none of them ever said what the charge was. I heard people ask.
We've been asking. There's been zero answers. They're ignoring us just like they are right now. Even when the person being arrested was asking, "Sir, what are my charges?" They don't have any. They're just doing it for fun.
It's an intimidation tactic. Of course it is.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird. That'd be crazy.
Let's all this unarmed group of people have some people with guns.
Yeah, no, it seems like a great idea.
Get them.
This will go great.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you were remarking about what's in my pocket. It's not a gun. Wait, what? What's that? Sue? Huh? I for real can't fucking hear. Sorry, what'd you say?
It said flannel. I was noticing flannel has something.
Are you talking about Ford?
Are you talking about my phone holster?
Someone gonna choke us from
This holds a phone, just in case that was.
Yeah, no, I'm like real nervous here. I also got a whistle.
That's dangerous.
That's a violation of 5 statutes.
This is a nerd device. This is not a gun thing.
All right, well, we're not doing anything here. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Bravo, November,
Let's do.
9095.
Ironically, the reason I use a phone holster is so that I never have to like quickly reach into a pocket if I have to like quickly grab a phone. Yeah, so they see that it's a phone before I'm reaching for it.
Flannel. Look, he was talking about you.
Yeah, when he said flannel, I thought he was the guy with actually flannel.
Right. Well, there's two. Yeah, two with flannel. So
it's a nice fall day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay. From what they said in my mind, there's a 100% chance that person is no papered. There's no way that that person is charged as of when, like, an actual prosecutor looks at it.
So
you think so? I'll put money on it.
So for that, it's
You probably know where
press or activists.
Activists.
Oh, okay.
Look at that dude. He was looking for She apparently didn't comply hard enough with the orders, and so they charged her with blocking and incommoding, which is normally a civil charge. Yeah, she's been prosecuted. She got trial date in July.
Huh. But that, right, different story though.
Huh?
Like, all right, well, we will see. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So with the U.S. Park Police, then it's like it would be a federal charge, or would they like refer that to a local?
This was Capitol Police.
Right here?
What? No, they were charging the other activists.
The other thing, right?
Yeah. So for this,
This was Parks Police. I feel like they typically end up throwing them to MPD, don't they?
MPD.
The Metropolitan.
Yeah, but just a few more people every time they show up. I do genuinely. There's a real marked difference between the female so-called trans activists and the male trans activists, and the other people that turn up. There's a lot of females that champion these men, that talk more about trans women, so-called trans women, i.e. men, than they do about anybody else. Some of the men come dressed as women, but while some of those men just look like nasty, violent, horrible, just any excuse and they'll hit you men, there's always a particularly clinically insane young woman, and I don't mean that in some sort of hyperbole, nasty, vicious way of describing her, but I mean genuinely really troubled, very unhinged young women, and I think that there is a mental health crisis around this particular movement, and I think what it does is it sucks in some really vulnerable girls, and we have to, if for nothing else, we have to stop this so that those girls have a chance of healing and getting better. So, we came here to say women don't have penises. I believe we said it. We came here to say there's no such thing as non-binary. I believe we also said that. I think we had a smattering of men don't have vaginas. And we definitely had transitioning children as abuse. We will continue to speak. I have talked to, and lefty women, you're not going to like this, and I'm going to say it anyway. I have talked to conservatives, lefty, and women who have no political affiliation. I'm telling you, the most difficult women to reach across the aisle are women on the left. And by doing that, what you're doing is you're giving up this fight to men on the right. So if you want women, particularly women on the left, but just plain old women, you know, the old-fashioned kind with vaginas, the real ones, if you want plain old women, us, our voices to be those that are heard above all else, then you have to support working across the aisle. You have to think first and foremost we are women. The things that divide us are secondary. First and foremost we are women. Every time you castigate a woman for talking from the left to the right, for standing with other women, you basically hand this argument over to men on the right. And those men on the right, they don't have the same interests as we do. They don't want the same things for women as we do because they're just not women. So I personally am happy for anybody to speak up, but the people that should be charging this fight are those of us with the greatest risk, and that is women. This is our fight. Men, you can come along, but please, for God's sake, you walk behind. So I think we're doing a fine job here today. If you can put aside the differences and you can focus your eyes on the prize, then I promise we will win. If you can ensure that when you have an opportunity to come out, and the 13th of this month is Philadelphia, look on standingforwomen.com for events, for any information. If you want to donate to our documentary, which is going to be the story of women in this struggle, then it's standingforwomen.com/documentary. If you can put divisions aside, if you can just keep your eyes on the prize, if you can look at trans activists and laugh in their silly faces, I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Because I never lose! Welcome to the cause. Jennifer. A little bit more scary than Brighton. Do you need any help?
I know, I saw it.
I don't know. It's crazy.
That was great. It was great.
Okay, so the rally here, which was called Let Women Speak, was a TERF. I realized that I put that in the caption, and to people who don't know, TERF is Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. Basically, it's a movement of people who purport mostly leftist feminist positions, but don't believe that transgender people are included in that struggle, hence TERF. They just held their rally there. That's kind of a tour that's been going on across the country. Some people counter-protested them. Police pushed them back because the original rally had a permit, whereas the counter-protesters did not. At some point after being pushed back, there was a struggle. I didn't really see the beginning of it, but I kind of ran over, and it turned out that one of the counter-protesters was arrested. So I'll be able to review and post my footage just a little bit later. So in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Once again, thank you for watching.